Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my cohort and commentary Ashton, and this is our NXT review. I thought NXT was a hell of a fun show tonight. Next week, obviously, is the go-home show before TakeOver Chicago. But as far as this episode tonight, I thought it was just fantastic. Thoroughly enjoyed it. We got the rubber match between Lacey Evans and Kairi Sane, which I thoroughly enjoyed. The main event segment was great. We got some more hype for TakeOver Chicago, which I thought was well done. And even the women's segment, given that it involved Nikki Cross, I thought it was a bit better from what we got last week. So let me hand it over to our cohort and commentary here. Ashton, what do you think of tonight's NXT?
Yeah, I enjoyed NXT tonight for the most part. I definitely, feel like there was less bad on this show relative to last week's. So I definitely enjoyed the show. We had some solid matches, and I'm ready to get right into this, man.
All right, man. Well, with that said, let us get right into our first segment. Heat of the night. Jumping the gun a little bit there. I've got no heats of the night tonight. I had a lot of fun with this show. What about you, man? Any heats of the night tonight?
No heats of the night for me. No nitpicks, no nothing like that.
All right, then let us get right into our NXT review. And partner, how do we open this baby up?
We actually open with Shayna Baszler, which is a nice change of pace because I feel like we've gotten so used to men singles champions opening the show. It's nice to see a female singles champion open a show. Shayna comes out with a promo, talks about how last week the entire locker room was shown through Dakota Kai that if you try and get in the ring with Shayna Baszler, you're going to walk out a whole hell of a lot more messed up than you were before. Talks about how she's tougher and stronger and better than everyone else in the division. Strong will always beat the weak, but of course there's always got to be one. And in this case, it just so happens to be Nikki Cross. She starts to threaten Nikki, and then Nikki's music hits and she comes out. And we just kind of get more like continued threats from Shayna talking about, if you ever try and do this again, I'll put you to sleep and all that stuff. And it almost seemed like Shayna was about to corpse a few times during her, series of threats to Nikki. But then after she talked about how she could put Nikki to sleep in a heartbeat, Nikki starts screaming, "Do it," to Shayna, and even to the extent of doing, "Please do it." And she didn't actually say it into the mic, but you could make out that Shayna said, "We don't do things on your time. I call the shots. You don't call the shots." And then Nikki, she's like asking for Shayna to try and put her in the sleeper or into the Kirifuda clutch. And then we get into a physical altercation. Shayna shoves Nikki. Nikki does the Fez press and starts wailing away on Shayna. They kind of work their way into the corner, and then Nikki goes for the title. Shayna blindside punches Cross as Cross is thinking about grabbing the title. And then we got, the spot where she tosses her out of the ring, and then Nikki grabs her, tosses her out of the ring. So it was really an interesting, just kind of a physical altercation here between these two. I don't think we really got any story development, though, after this or anything like that.
And, I enjoyed this segment. I thought Shayna's promo, it started out strong. The interaction with Nikki was a bit repetitive on her end, but you could tell she's starting to, develop her promo chops, which I think is really nice. This is why NXT exists. You don't just, do shotgun and just go straight to the main roster and get in a championship picture. Ronda Rousey. So I think it's great that Shayna, is really able to get this kind of practice on the mic. I'm not going to be too critical of her. I pretty much liked it on the whole. Again, I did notice a bit of repetitiveness, but I'm not going to hold it against her. She's where she needs to be. Nikki, it's a great foil. I may not be, too enthused about this iteration of Nikki, with the whole Psycho character and stuff like that, but it is a great foil to the very serious, very legit Baszler, because when she's like, "Oh, I'll put you to sleep," and Nikki's response is, "Do it, please do it." And, it works. It's a great contrast. The scuffle was fine. I think it was just enough to, kind of whet the appetite of everybody, and then you could hold us over until TakeOver Chicago. Not really much more to say than that. This is another segment where Nikki stands tall. I even think Shayna got busted open a little bit, in the mouth. So, that just really shows that, Nikki isn't afraid of Shayna and that she is definitely very capable of taking the championship from her at Chicago, which I think is important. You know, the challenger's got to look credible at some point. So definitely think Nikki has that credibility, and there's not more I can say than that. So I think we can move on.
All right. Well, then we got our first match of the night, which was TM61 in a squash match, basically. I didn't even catch the two guys' names, unfortunately. But they do win. TM61 do win. And then they do cut a promo where they say they're the best team and they go over the teams that they've beaten, talking about Street Profits and Heavy Machinery and all that. And then they say that they will continue to win against the War Raiders, against Oni and Danny, and against the Undisputed Era. And that they are now officially saying that everyone should refer to them as the Mighty.
Love it. You know, it's really starting to grow on me. That finisher with like the lariat to the back of the head. Damn. You know, normally with a finisher like that, because I actually love their old double team finisher that they did. Normally it takes a while for something like a shift like that to grow on me, but I felt it, man. I was like, shit, that was impactful. So yeah, I mean, very clearly, I think showing more heel vibes. The only reason that disappoints me isn't because they're not necessarily good at it. I'm still enjoying them very much. It's just our current tag champions are heels. So I guess the new dream match I should be looking to is no longer TM61 versus Undisputed Era, at least not at this time, but maybe instead TM61 versus War Raiders, if War Raiders are the chosen ones to beat the Undisputed Era. So great squash match for TM61. I'm loving that they're winning. I'm loving that they're gaining prominence on NXT. And yeah, nothing more I can say than that. So we can move on unless you have anything you want to add.
Oh, no, we can move on. Up next, we had sort of a preview telling us that tonight we're going to be getting Lacey Evans versus Kairi Sane, and that up next we would be getting Danny Burch versus Roderick Strong. Then we got a recap of last week's confrontation between Lars Sullivan and Aleister Black. Then we got kind of a weird segment showing Lars just beating up a bunch of randos at the Performance Center.
Yeah, you know, in a way I thought it was nice because it's like, wow, this is the stuff that Lars is capable of. But like when you do it against pretty much the equivalent of Young Lions, you know, it's like, okay. But I still love that they replayed the visual of him catching Black Mass and turning it into a freak accident. You know, I'm digging Lars. I'm digging the, you know, presentation of Lars more specifically. I think it should be a solid match at TakeOver Chicago. And I'm just really just digging Lars's growth, man. He's really growing into this character more week by week. I think it's awesome. And yeah, nothing really more I can say than that. I enjoyed it for what it was, and that's all there is to it.
All right, man. Well, let's move on to our second match of the night, Roderick Strong versus Danny Burch. This is a pretty good physical match. Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly did come out to try and help Roddy win, but did kind of get thwarted by Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan, but then Cole ends up making himself, you know, frees himself from Dunne and Lorcan and manages to distract Danny Burch long enough for Roderick Strong to grab him, hit him with a huge backbreaker, and actually get the win off of it. I was surprised he actually got the win off that backbreaker because it was not end of heartache. But yeah, man, Roddy wins, and then as he's celebrating with his half of the tag titles, Pete Dunne gets in the ring. Roddy, as he turns around, notices, oh shit, Pete Dunne's here. He's going to fuck me up. And I guess he kind of actually still ends up coming up out on top because Kyle O'Reilly comes in to save him. So Undisputed Era stand tall at the end of the day.
Which, you know what, I think that's how it should be. All due respect to Pete Dunne, who I think was the most credible performer on that half of the exchange. I like Oni and I like Danny, but they're like kind of just a insert tag team just so that we can get from Chicago to Brooklyn kind of scenario. You know what I mean? So to me, they don't really have the credibility to like win this exchange, even with Dunne in their corner. Undisputed Era, to me, even without the NXT championship, because we know that's with Aleister Black, are the epicenter of the product right now. And again, to me, that's how it should be. These guys carry themselves in a way that, like, I think I either said it on last week's NXT TWitWoW or the week before that, or maybe I just say it every week because I think it's become a usual talking point for me. These guys are cool. These guys are legit. They carry themselves with that air of like an Evolution or a Four Horsemen or whatever. And yeah, I like that they come out on top. I like that Roderick won. I too was a bit caught off guard that he won with that backbreaker because that seemed to be more of a setup type backbreaker for the end of Heartache. But you know what? It was all a distraction. I won't, look a gift horse in the mouth. They gave Roddy the win, which I feel like he deserved. Loving that he's just, again, really seems to be enjoying himself in Undisputed Era. He's always good in ring. Should be a solid tag match for Chicago, but again, I'm just looking more to War Raiders and what those 4 guys can do. And really, Pete Dunne as United Kingdom champion, I'm curious if he's going to drop it to the winner of the next United Kingdom tournament, which I'm guessing seems likely. But then really the question is, what does Dunne do after he drops the championship? Because I don't think he's done with Undisputed Era. Maybe he'll reignite his rivalry with Strong. Maybe he'll pursue Adam Cole in the North American Championship. I'm actually much more looking forward to Dunne's future post-UK championship reign. So yeah, man.
I'm really looking forward. I think we're gonna end up getting British Strong Style versus Undisputed Era, though.
Yeah, I definitely think that's gonna happen. It'll be interesting.
You know what
to
I will
see when
say
that
though,
happens.
I'm actually quite disappointed by the severe lack of Adam Cole in the Takeover Chicago's card so far.
Yeah, dude, that's another reason why this almost seems like, and I never thought this phrase would even exist, but like a throwaway takeover, because like Adam Cole isn't even on this thing. And there was one other prominent name I feel like got excluded from this card, and I forget who it was. I think in some people's minds it was EC3, but he wasn't the person I was thinking of. I feel like there was somebody else that was big that got left off this card. But yeah, I mean, Adam Cole's absence is definitely felt on here.
I mean, you could say Pete Dunne since he is the UK champion.
Pete Dunne's not on here. I'm almost wondering, dude, seeing as how he came out to 8 tonight, if he's going to have any involvement in the tag title match come next Saturday. Like that has crossed my mind. We'll get more into that, of course, when we do Takeover Chicago preview and predictions. That'll be next Thursday.
Yep.
And yeah, man, I enjoyed the match. Great win for Roderick. Danny Burch did look great. I wanted to touch on that too. Really loved his intensity and his fire. And yeah, that's all I can really say about the match. Undisputed Era forever.
Yeah, the only other entity that I can think of that's not on this card that has kind of built up some momentum recently is War Raiders.
Yeah, they'll get their time.
It would be cool if we got War Raiders versus the Mighty on like the like the pre-show taping kind of deal.
Oh yeah, dude, that'd be fucking great.
I would love that. So that'd be a lot of fun. All right, man. You ready to move on?
Yes.
Well, then we got to see Cassius Ohno doing a photo shoot. I think I realized what looked awkward about him.
What's that?
It's the trunks. He really needs shorts.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, if you're going to come out and wrestle in a basketball jersey, you might as well wear basketball shorts, too. There's no reason for you not to.
Right, I agree.
So it just kind of looks awkward. But he's doing like a photo shoot and he's got like this like boxing robe on kind of thing. Interrupted though by EC3, who makes a joke about, oh, you're gonna break the camera, all that shit. He does give Ohno credit as a wrestler, but tells him, oh, you're not EC3, and then he lists down all the shit that EC3 says about himself. And then Ohno runs him down for being narcissistic and all that stuff. And I think a match got made here, but I wasn't.
Yeah, for next week.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what, man? I'm gonna be honest. I really didn't care. I mean, I don't even mean to be dismissive. It's just
dude, that's how I feel too, though. It's like, you don't have to do this, and if you want to do it, I'm glad it's not a takeover thing because it really doesn't matter to me.
I love that you sound almost like a little bit apprehensive as well. Like, hey, you don't have to do this, but if you want to, just keep it the hell away from me.
It's like one-dimensional EC3 versus one-dimensional Cassius Ohno. I just hope that their singular dimensions don't clash.
And dude, like, that's the infuriating thing, because with like EC3, and I feel like I'm getting closer to my verdict, because I'm sorry. This shit was so great, School. What, are you trying to break the camera?
It really is Bobby Roode 2.0, except more poorly executed, I would say.
Yeah, because I feel like with Bobby, and like that's why I want him to turn heel, hopefully. And
Bobby was so good at just being a smug dick.
Yeah, like it's like I'm better than you, and I genuinely believe it.
Everything EC3 says feels so forced and unnatural to me.
Oh, dude. It's bad. I think I'm really coming around to like, yeah, it's bad. Because like he said that line, and I'm like, I really had to keep my eyes from rolling into the back of my head. I was just so over it. And as far as Cassius, like, I don't even mean this to be a scumbag thing, which I feel like I could be such an asshole sometimes. I do have to preface my more sincere statements these days. But like, this is a guy that allegedly quit in his first NXT run because he felt like he didn't get called up to the main roster quick enough. Like, how have you not quit now? Because I feel like in your first run, you were doing so much more entertaining stuff than this. And if in his first run, we got the legendary, what are you going to do? Arm drag me? Like, he's a boring ass baby face. That's just
he was
there.
actually in shape during his first run too. That's a difference too.
Yeah, and like that was a difference too. I don't really like to focus so much on that. Like, I understand why like you would point that out because WWE is that way. But like for me, whatever shape he's in, like you were entertaining your first run. And now it's funny because he sure as hell ain't a midget, but you're vanilla as fuck, bruh. Like, you can throw an elbow. There's my golf clap for you. Like, he's there. When was the last time you fucking won anything or did anything or had any interesting character development? The last time he did anything interesting, and I don't even mean this to be like, oh, a John's bias kind of thing, was his feud with Itami because that was the catalyst for Itami's heel turn. Other than that, I can't think of anything. I mean, he stood up to Tommaso Ciampa and lost.
Yeah, I would say his match with Lars was pretty good on that one.
His match with Lars was good. It was a good match, but like you keep losing, and I'm seeing a segment with you being interrupted by some grade school fucking punk for a photo shoot. Like, where's the anger that you haven't won a fucking match in what feels like months? I think the last person he beat, what's his name? God, what's his name? Raul Mendoza. Raul Mendoza was the last guy he beat. Fucking Raul Mendoza was the last guy you beat. Where's the development? Like, NXT doesn't give a fuck about you. And then that's the poetic irony here. You walked out the first time when they actually seemed to give a shit about you because you were going after Steamboat's kid. He got a match with William Regal, right? Which to me is huge because say what you will about William Regal. Guy was competing very sparsely at that stage of his career. And Cash got a fucking match with him. And like your patience ran out, which that's whatever. But like here, I don't even think they give a fuck about Cassius. So why should I give a fuck about Cassius? And then you want me to care about EC3, but like my drywall could cut a better promo than this motherfucker. Like, I don't know, dude. Maybe this was kind of what you had like last week with the whole women's, like all this blonde stuff. Like it feels so artificial on the EC3 end. The Cassius end is just dead in the water. Either turn heel or go back to PWG and like keep working the indie circuit again. Because I honestly found him more interesting, if for no other reason, because he could really let loose and be vicious and whatever. And with EC3, I don't even fucking know. Like I don't even know what you do with that. I'm not feeling it. So, yeah, match made for next week. I guess that'll be the putter matchup of the fucking show. Because I really have no inclination to care. So, that's really all I've got to say about that. We can move on.
All right. Well, we can move on. Let's talk about Tommaso. That was just an announcement. They said Tommaso Ciampa will be here live tonight. We'll get to that. That's our main event.
Yes.
It was made official. We will be getting Strong and O'Reilly defending the NXT tag titles against Lurkin and Birch, and Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream was made official.
Yeah, now those are two quality performers right there, Dream and Ricochet. That's what I'm talking about. Fuck
well,
yeah.
And I'm glad that you chose to emphasize that particular match because we add next the Ricochet and Velveteen Dream video package.
Yes, dude, this was so good. I want you to go first, though. What did you think about all this?
So, okay, just to talk about what actually happened, it was actually a really well done video package. They got little interviews from both guys. Ricochet talks about his own strengths and how, you know, he's always been known as that guy that does flippy stuff, but he really just wants to keep on improving on himself, becoming the best that he can be. And then we get Dream talking about how he's always been blessed. He was just kind of born with this natural gift, and he's got that it factor, and he doesn't think that Ricochet has that. But like, they do end up talking some shit about each other. And Velveteen Dream does this great thing where he talks about how NXT's a monarchy. Ricochet thinks he's a king. I would rather be the prince. And he kind of equated it to being more hungry because like you already have a crown, but you know that there are higher heights to achieve. And he wants to knock King Ricochet off his throne. I love the way he put that. I love the wording. I love everything about that. Ricochet, this was amazing because Ricochet pointed out how Dream has had everything handed to him, whereas Ricochet had to work for his contract. And he brings up, oh, what's the biggest hardship Velveteen Dream's ever had to overcome? Getting eliminated from Tough Enough. And then they cut to Dream and he goes, the Velveteen Dream doesn't recall that ever happening.
Yes. Yes.
So good. Oh God, I love these guys. I love Dream, man. I love Ricochet too, but Dream is just next level.
Dude, I hope your vision, and really what I think our shared vision, I know you and I have been pushing Velveteen Dream hard on this podcast, of him and Black at Brooklyn 4 with Dream being crowned NXT champ. I hope that comes to pass. I don't think it will, because I'm inclined to agree with you, and this is something that was just wholly your opinion, that Black is going to have like a Balor-esque reign with the NXT title. Yeah. But man, if he was to ever have a short reign, who better to end it than Velveteen Dream? Good God. I love that this feud is willing to go to the places that you wouldn't normally expect a feud to go, like especially with social media. See, I love performers that in this day and age know how to freaking use Twitter. I'm not just talking knowing how to at somebody and shit. You know, like Dream being able to allude to Lucha Underground with his Twitter.
He has the Prince Puma mask as his background image. Ah,
yeah. And like Ricochet mentioning Tough Enough. Like, I love that these guys are going for those. I won't necessarily call them pain points, because I freaking love Prince Puma and Lucha Underground. I thought Patrick Clark was the best part of Tough Enough. But, you know, for them, it's like, oh, you know, it's whatever. It's in the past. But they're willing to dig up the past to throw it at each other. And I feel like this feud hasn't even been going on that long. And these guys just, they get it. And like, I'm hooked and I'm ready for it. I think this could be the show stealer on the TakeOver Chicago card. And again, like, I know that, you know, Gargano champ, but like a lot of people are loving the rivalry. I think narratively that match is superior just because it's so personal. But I think in ring, these guys are really going to do something special in Chicago. I can't wait for this shit. And I really can't wait to talk about it in our preview next Thursday so that we can really unpack it and I can give my full thoughts. But for now, this was fantastic for sure.
All right, man. This was really well done. Probably the highlight of the night for me, and you know, until we got to the main event, obviously. But
yes.
Ricochet definitely improving on the mic, and Dream is just, I mean, he even said he's blessed. He's just a natural at this. He's so good at it. This is what
fucking 22 and this good. Like, what?
Yeah. And yeah, it's crazy. So then we got our third match of the night, Lacey Evans versus Kairi Sane. Lacey really did dominate from the word go. And it really kind of all went south when she attempted to do a moonsault, which was, I got to give her credit. It was a really impressive moonsault attempt because she was standing facing towards the ring from the middle rope. And she did what we actually saw Kevin Owens do in his first match with John Cena on the main roster, where she went from standing facing towards the ring, standing on the middle rope, jumped up and turned around in one motion, and then did the moonsault from the top rope. She did miss that, though, and that was the turning point in the match, because after that, Kairi hit 3 consecutive interceptor spears, then the sliding D, then the flying kabuki elbow, then she locked in like a modified armbar kind of thing, almost like a triangle armbar on the ground, but Lacey tried to turn it into a pin attempt, only for a 2 count. Kairi hit an Alabama slam and then finished her off with the insane elbow, so Kairi did pick up the win here. She won the rubber match. John, are you there? Oh God, don't tell me he's doing this is happening again. John, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Son of a bitch. Christ. Sorry about this, guys. This happened on our Q&A stream as well. I'm not really sure what's going on. Trying to figure out if it kicked him out or if he's having internet problems. Because if he's just having internet problems, he should be able to get back on here pretty quickly. If it kicked him out again, though, we couldn't figure out how to fix that last time, and we ended up having to just end the stream early, which I really would rather not do here, because we still do have to talk about the main event involving Ciampa and Gargano and all that fun stuff. So I'd really rather not end the stream. But here's the thing, though, guys. I'm thinking it's an internet thing because he hasn't even seen my Facebook messages yet. So I'm thinking it's an internet issue. I don't really know how long it's going to take for him to get back, or if he's going to be able to get back anytime soon. I'm gonna try and just kind of wait a few more minutes before I just decide to end the stream. Worst case scenario, if we do have to end the stream, we can just come back here to finish talking about this segment with the Kairi Lacey stuff. and then we'll talk about the Ciampa Gargano stuff. And I'll just call this a part 1 of 2. And man, this is really unfortunate because we were really enjoying this episode of NXT, and now everything's kind of getting fucked over. Tell you what, guys. What? Oh, John, are you here?
Yes, internet went out temporarily. I'm really sorry about that, guys.
I'm so glad you got back because I was literally like 30 seconds away from ending the stream.
Yeah. So what was the last thing we talked about?
Well, we haven't finished talking about Lacey Kyrie yet. So I did kind of go over the match, ending with Kyrie winning with the Alabama Slam and then the insane elbow. And then I kind of threw it over to you to ask you what you thought.
Oh, right. Okay. So, yeah, I was actually looking forward to talking about this. That's why my heart sank when my internet went out. Yeah, I actually enjoyed this. I like the psychology from Kyrie early on, like working over the arm and the hand because she wanted to avoid the women's right. I thought that was great. Lacey, I thought, had some great, like, striking moments and showing power. The moonsault, I agree with you. That I thought was really cool. So yeah, really great series that I think made Lacey come off better than, she probably is if we're being truthful. I also feel like booking wise, they really made Lacey seem like a big deal when it took 3 interceptors and the, kabuki elbow and stuff like that, like all this stuff just to get Lacey down long enough for the insane elbow. So I actually feel like Lacey looked good in defeat is, I guess, essentially what I'm trying to articulate. Again, Kyrie working over the hand I thought was really smart and a great narrative addition because you didn't forget about being knocked out. So, yeah, I would say this is their best match of the 3. And that might be a bit tinged by bias because Kyrie went over, and that makes my heart so happy because she's so wonderful. And, yeah, Kyrie gets the win. Nothing more you can say than that.
Absolutely. I'm really glad you're back. I was getting kind of freaked out.
Yeah. You and me both.
I suspected that it was your internet, though, because I sent you 2 Facebook messages and you didn't even see them while I was talking. And normally, if you would have gotten, like, kicked out, you would have, like, seen them and responded. So I kind of figured it was an internet thing, and I'm really glad that you were able to resolve it as quickly as you did. So, are we ready to move on?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's move on. Main event, Tommaso Ciampa. Gotta love that his entrance music is the booze.
I actually, Ashton, I don't mean to stop you there, but I know that we are starting to do our plugs before we get into main event talk.
And that's absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, I'll take care of that. Thank you for reminding me, though.
Yes.
Remember to like the video. I see we've got 14 live viewers, but only 4 thumbs up. Remember to like the video. Remember to leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think of the show after this has been processed. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and then click the bell icon for notifications. But if you want even more reliable notifications, you can get them by following both John and myself on Twitter and setting our accounts to give you notifications. John tends to be a little bit more of a social tweeter. My tweets are probably at least 80% just randomly. The account will send out an automatic tweet as soon as we go live for a live stream. So you'll be able to see that and click on the link right from Twitter. It's really easy. And then, of course, like our Facebook page, and you can support us any of 3 ways. First way is to buy our merch on Teespring. Second way is to donate to our Patreon, where you can only donate $3 a month if you want. That's like kind of like the bare minimum. We do have somebody donating $1 a month, but I think it's more like reserving a spot and making sure that they're still around on Patreon and not forgetting. But $3 a month gets you access to the exclusive TWitWoW patron Discord and accumulates over time, allowing you to request live reactions to wrestling shows of your choosing, and accumulates in a community pot, which allows us to continue live reacting to progress every week of every month. And the third way is also the free option. If you're interested in supporting us, but can't afford the Patreon and don't want to be able to spend the money on Teespring, that's fine. All you have to do is share this video and share these videos and this channel with all your wrestling fan friends and let them in on the best kept secret in the YouTube wrestling community. We are the workhorses of the YWC, everyone. And now that that is all done and out of the way. Oh, and also remember to get your Q&A questions in. Best option for that is just to tweet at John, reply to his pinned tweet on his Twitter profile. And yeah, you could ask the questions there, up to 4 questions for everyone per month. And you can ask them to one or both of us. And I think that's about it. Our Q&A this month is going to end up being on June 28th. It's the last Thursday of every month, so that's that. And I think we can move on now. John, let's talk about Tommaso Ciampa.
Let us talk about Tommaso Ciampa. The dude's fucking fantastic. I've already said once before, I love how much this man hates. I hope he never loves anything in his life, because him hating is just too freaking good. The crowd roasted him, really gave it to him like they always do. The heat he gets.
Can I just say, fuck Full Sail?
Yes. Yes.
Like, this is the most hated man in the world of wrestling right now. And obviously that's subjective, but he's supposed to be. And just play along, you pieces of shit. Stop chanting Psycho Killer. I'm glad he gave it back to him. I'm glad that the second time the Psycho Killer chant started, he said, spare me with your Psycho Killer bullcrap. Thank you, Tommaso. Thank you. I'm going to proceed booing you now because that's what you are trying to get people to do. And I respect you, man.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I am part of the problem with me loving him so much, but at least I'm not actively in the crowd doing it. I feel like if I was...
Like, I still imagine if you would go to a show, you would still boo him with the rest of the crowd because it's fun.
I don't know. Sometimes I am difficult, but no, I think I would get swept up in it and be like, "Oh, you're mean." Probably Goodfellow would peek his head out and be like, "Oh, this doesn't seem right." But no, man, he is so good. And dude, his Twitter game just gets better and better. Did you see he went after Shawn Michaels apparently? Because that was freaking awesome.
I didn't see that. No, I didn't.
Let me read it to you because that was fucking great. Let's see. He said, oh, yeah, because Sirius XM radio said, could you imagine Ciampa getting heat on old-ass Shawn Michaels right now? And then apparently because Bully Ray gave an interview how Tommaso Ciampa is the perfect opponent for a returning Shawn Michaels. And Ciampa replied, there's a reason short-haired Shawn didn't mention me by name. I welcome 97 Shawn Michaels back with open arms. Hell, I will even tolerate 09 Shawn. But 2018 Shawn, give me a break.
I love it.
Dude, I love, like, every time they jeer him, he literally smiles and laughs it off because he knows he's better than them. And the line, and when they were like, you tapped out. Hey, you gave up on me long before I ever gave up on you, so save it. You tapped out. You disgust me.
Yes.
And, dude, so good. And then he talks about Gargano, and he makes these salient points. And yes, I'm partially saying it because I love that he's an abusive dickweed. And he's like, I didn't ask for this, Johnny. Your wife didn't even ask for this. You should have listened to her. And instead now, you know, you left her crippled when I sent you into her. And he's like, well, now you're going to listen to me. I'm telling you. No, I'm warning you. You go to Chicago, and essentially, like he says, I will end you. And it's just so good. And of course, Gargano, because he's a little bitch and he can't listen to reason.
Yeah, Ciampa even pointed out that it always has to be about Gargano, referring to last week when he was just randomly showed up during the EC3 match and decided to steal the spotlight and announce his match with Ciampa at Street Fight at Chicago.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait for this. It's going to be so freaking good. Gargano, I love that they really sell just the intensity and how personal this shit is with Gargano taking out a lot of NXT personnel, which I know that's a spot that's been done before, but there's something about Johnny doing it when they've really painted him as like this pure babyface and this good-hearted dude that I think has a little bit of extra oomph, you know, like he is so desperate to get his hands on Tommaso, and it's to Candace's point, like you're becoming what you despise, that he's actively hurting innocent bystanders. And that really, I think when you frame it that way, it shows you just how deep this shit goes. And they have a bit of a struggle. Gargano, when it's face-to-face, gets the upper hand. There is a point, though, where Ciampa gets Gargano from behind. And then he locks in the Gargano escape, which was great. And two interesting things here, though. You know, when he has the Gargano escape on Gargano, Gargano never taps out. Like, he just stays in the hold, whatever. But then when Ciampa decides to leave and he does the wave and we see the NXT signature, Gargano, though, pursues Ciampa. And that's another interesting thing, too, about the rivalry. For those that are really into it and appreciate the small details, every time in this rivalry after the signature, Ciampa's gotten the upper hand. This is the first time Johnny's ever done it. Because he beats the crap out of Tommaso, busts him open, and locks in the Gargano escape where Tommaso Ciampa taps out. So I know they even made it a thing. Like, every time NXT, quote-unquote, goes off the air, Ciampa gets the upper hand. Finally, Gargano does it. So it really has become, like, what he's despised. He's become Ciampa in that way. And that, to me, is just so freaking good. I love this feud.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. It's rare that this early in a year we get feud of the year pretty much locked down, but I really don't see anything outdoing this.
No way, man. Like, you know, I wish Lucha Underground luck. I know they got feud of the year for me last year with Dante Fox and Killshot. But this really is, like, it just goes to places, and it's been such a long form story. I don't know, man. I really don't think anything can top this for me as well. And Gargano coming out on top the way that he did was great. And yeah, again, just a little nod of like, oh, you know, you thought you'd, you know, walk away when NXT goes off the end. Not this time. This one goes to me. Like, I love the little nods that this feud is given. Candice even like kind of holding up a mirror to Gargano and being like, I don't like this. Everything about it's so good. I'm loving this. And that's really all I can say about it, man. Great stuff.
Yeah, this was super well done. Ciampa's promo was really spectacular. He talked about how, you know, the whole Johnny Badass thing where he's talking about, oh, you know, Gargano comes out during a match and announces the street fight. Apparently Johnny Wrestling has become Johnny Badass. And then, you know,
which the crowd immediately latched onto, which
they started doing the chant, Johnny Badass. And then, you know, all that. And he even goes as far as to say anything to take away from the fact that 2 weeks ago, you damn near crippled your wife. Talking about, oh, this is all on you. You brought your wife into the ring with you. You challenged me to a fight. I didn't want to fight, but you insisted, even when little Blondie begged you not to. It just, the delivery, and really, it's not even just the delivery, because Ciampa's delivery is always on point. The content of the promo was exceptional. Like, the fact that what he's saying is mostly true with maybe a few little tiny tweaks to it.
Yeah, those are always the best heels, man. The ones that don't even really need to lie or exaggerate because the truth is on their side. It's good shit, man. Like,
crazy,
freaking
man.
Awesome.
So well done.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this was a great finish to a really solid episode of NXT. Here's to hoping next week's Go Home show can live up to the billing that this kind of set for it.
Yeah, dude, I hope so as well. Like, I think there's a lot of pressure on this feud, but I think it can live up to that pressure. So we shall see.
So what other matches are we supposed to get next week other than Ono EC3? Anything?
Not that I know of, man. I haven't heard.
I wonder if there were any matches that were like announced as being in 2 weeks last week that we are just forgetting about.
Maybe. I mean, I know Aleister Black's supposed to be on the show, so that's something. That's good. But I really can't think of anything else. And yeah, that's essentially NXT. So, I mean, do you have anything you want to add before we get into our next segment?
Absolutely not. Let's go.
Well, now we are at high spots and low shots. And my low shot, who is going to be my low shot this week? You know what? My low shot's Lacey Evans. You started a fight and you couldn't finish the fight. Kairi Sane wins the series 2-1. And now she can move on to more important things, like taking that NXT Women's Championship from Shayna Baszler. Oh, yeah. So Lacey's my low shot because screw off.
I mean, that's fair. That's definitely fair. I think I'm going to have to give my low shot, though, to Danny Burch because you had the match won. You've got a tag title match locked down, and yet you still couldn't convert. You just lost to just a basic backbreaker from Roderick Strong. I know he's the Messiah, but he's the Messiah because he uses a lot of them, not because any one is particularly stronger than the others.
Yeah, Danny.
Kind of heartache. Like, you lost to a backbreaker. That's it.
Yeah, Danny, do better.
Yeah.
Do better. High spot here. Oh, man. You know, honestly, I wanted so badly to give it to Ciampa, and I felt like we were so close. And then the way that ended, I just in good conscience can't.
Yeah, Ciampa even ended up bleeding there at the end. That was weird.
God, you know, Johnny, you're a despicable human being attacking somebody from behind. That's some bullshit. I think I'm gonna go with TM61. You know, I'm really Yeah, the Mighty. I guess I have to start getting used to calling them that, right? So yeah, the Mighty breaking in the new name with the high spot, and yeah, I'm loving what they're doing. And yeah, can't really say any more than that. They won, even though it was against a local team. But I think this is really the completion of a metamorphosis, at least in my view. And yeah, good for them. Who's your high
Well,
spot?
you already know Adam Cole was on this show, so he gets the high spot. But my honorary high spot isn't even going to be my only other high spot because I'm going to even have a tertiary high spot. Are you ready for this?
Holy shit. Okay.
I know, right? So tertiary high spot's going to go to Velveteen Dream just because he continues to shine. He's amazing. And he had the line of the night with the whole, the Dream does not recall these events thing and talking about Tough Enough. I love that.
Yeah.
And the honorary high spot is going to go to Kairi Sane because she just, man, she is such a good baby face. When she fires up in the ring, there is nothing that is more convincing to me than Kairi Sane firing up as a baby face. It's just so amazing. And she's just so good. And I got to tell you, man, I'm a little bit worried for Kairi. I'm a little bit worried for both Kairi and Asuka, really, because Io Shirai's coming, and WWE has a tendency to kind of chop some heads when someone new comes in. I even called one as recently as like 2014 because I was saying for the longest time when Kevin Steen shows up in WWE, Bull Dempsey becomes irrelevant. Bull Dempsey becomes expendable. Well, Kairi and Asuka better watch their backs, man. Asuka, I don't even know. Asuka, by the time Io gets to the main roster, Asuka might be like bordering on retirement because she's already like 36, 37 years old. So she's up there. But Kairi, I would be worried if I was Kairi because Io is something special and I love Kairi, but she's no Io to me.
Well, that's fine because Io can take a fucking backseat to me. And, it is 2/3 of the Stardom trio kind of reuniting. So I just choose to see the beauty in that. I will not worry just yet. You can't stop a pirate that easily. So I look forward to when Io appears because Kairi will be ready for her. But regardless.
I really, too, like, I hope Io passes the physical because I want her to be in and get to the finals of NYC2.
Yeah. I mean, me too, dude. Io really is something special. Really is crazy how much talent WWE has. I mean, we could have like a new women's division. Like if the four horsewomen were like V1, I definitely think we're entering that V2 sort of stage, like just this next generation of talent, which is just fucking mind-boggling. So yeah, that's a great breakdown of your high spot. But I mean, you said your honorary high spot was Kairi. Who was your actual high spot again? I'm sorry, because we had that little Io discussion. So
Adam Cole, obviously.
Oh, Adam Cole. Yeah, I'm surprised because he practically did nothing. I guess he did help Roderick Strong win, so that was.
But John, he existed. He makes the show better by existing and being on the show. You know that he's my high spot every time.
I'm starting to wonder if Adam Cole's existence may be a tad overrated, but I guess we'll just. No, I take it. No, we really shouldn't do this now.
Finish it. You said I take it. Finish it. You take it what?
No, you know what? I'm doubling down. So that is
son of a bitch.
You have no concluding remarks about NXT this week, right?
Yeah, my concluding remark is your face.
Wow, said in a confrontational manner. Well, I guess I'm sleeping on the couch tonight. That was NXT. Wow. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today.
I'm John.
I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. Guys, be sure to comment, subscribe, and like the video. The more likes you leave, the more likely we are to be the top search result for NXT reviews on YouTube. And when you're the best at what you do, the top is the only place that you belong. So please leave that like.
Which is what Adam Cole tells himself in the mirror every morning.
Ashton already gave the plug before main event discussion. So I'm just going to let you guys know that we will see you again tomorrow at 4 p.m. EST with the second part of the huge progress tournament, chapter 19. I looked at the timestamp, guys. It's over a 4-hour show. Jesus Christ.
I
So
said
yeah,
that yesterday after we were done with the first part of it.
you know I don't listen to you. And,
Well, that's your problem. Maybe if you were more like Adam Cole.
you know what? You want Adam Cole so bad. Why don't you invite him to the podcast? Little bitch. I'm friends with him on Facebook. Have you even friended him on Facebook?
Yeah, I was going to say, as if I haven't already invited him to do the podcast with me. He doesn't respond to me just like he doesn't respond to you. And I'm friends with him on Facebook, so I at least have an excuse for him not to respond to me.
Wow. Way to mask that insecurity that Adam Cole doesn't even acknowledge your existence. Anyway.
Because he totally acknowledges yours, right?
Well, he has, okay? How many times has he ever looked in your direction? Yeah, have fun, like, fucking doing math with 0. Anyway, let me finish this out. So 4 p.m., and apparently somebody said it was a 4-hour show, but I'm reiterating it. So there you go. It's going to be an amazing tournament. Jimmy Havoc's fucking wonderful. Unlike Full Sail, you pack of fucking plebs. And Jushin Thunder Liger, fuck your old ass.
They should learn how to be more like Adam Cole, too.
You know what? Fuck Adam Cole, too. Screw all of you.
How dare you?
How dare your face? And you know what?
No. You're taking it back. You are taking it back.
You know what? Your face, and you know something? I'm not too fond of your tibula either. So, fuck it.
I don't care about my face or my tibula. Take back the fuck Adam Cole comment.
Fine. I take back fuck Adam Cole, but he can still eat shit. So, there you go.
That's not acceptable either. Take it back.
Your face isn't acceptable, and yet you still...
I don't care. Take back the Adam Cole thing.
Fine. I take it back. Adam, you're a pretty decent North American champion that'll never be WWE champion. There you go.
Nope. You can't keep putting pepper on it. You got to sweeten it up.
Fine. Adam Cole, you're a marvelous North American champion. I'm grateful you were the first ever North American champion, because if it was around any other waist but yours, it would have been dead on arrival. Thank you for existing. Thank you for breathing. You actually breathing somehow reduces carbon emissions, which I don't even know how that works. And just thank you. Thank you for being you.
That's more like it. Thank you.
Oh my God. My hand's sore from jerking him off so much. I don't even know how your hand still functions. Anyway, until then.
You assuming that this is still my actually naturally born hand is what you made.
Sweet mother of God. Do you turn off? Tune in and peace out. You know what?